All right, welcome back. So today we're going to talk about what is, no joke, one of the most important skills you can learn right now: prompt engineering. Look, it's not just about typing questions into a box. It's about really talking to AI, learning its language so you can unlock all that crazy potential it has. So let's just jump right in.
When it comes right down to it, this is the whole game. The quality of what you get out of an AI depends entirely on the quality of what you put in. Getting a great answer isn't magic, it's a skill. And over the next few minutes, we're going to show you exactly how to get good at it. So, what's the best way to think about talking to an AI? Well, I've found this analogy works perfectly. Imagine you just hired a new intern. This intern is brilliant, like they've read literally everything ever written. But they have zero common sense and absolutely no context about what you're doing. They need perfect instructions to do great work. And that right there is what prompt engineering is all about. It's the process of crafting those perfect instructions for our brilliant but clueless intern. It's kind of the art and science of asking the right question in the right way to get the exact answer you want. A really solid prompt isn't just a simple question. Nope. Just like a good project brief you'd give that intern, a powerful prompt has a few key parts that all work together. Let's break down what those are. There are basically four core pieces. First, the instruction. What exactly do you want the AI to do? Second, the context. What background info does it need to know? Third, you've got the input data. So what specific text or info should it be working with? And finally, the output indicator. How do you want the answer to look? What format? And this slide just shows the difference so perfectly. A vague prompt like, write a LinkedIn post, that's a terrible brief for our intern, right? But now look at the detailed one. It gives the length, 8 lines, the topic, an AI bootcamp, the context for Walmart. It's got all 4 of those key ingredients, and believe me, the results you'd get are going to be worlds apart. Here's one more quick example just to hammer it home. A bad prompt like, explain World War II, is just going to give you a generic, probably useless answer. But the good prompt, it's super specific. It assigns a role as a history teacher. It gives context for a YouTube video, and it specifies the output in 150 words. The big takeaway here is really simple. Specificity is everything. All right, so we've got the structure of our instructions down, but what if we want to control how the AI actually thinks? Well, we can actually go a level deeper and start messing with its behavioral settings. The easiest way to think about these is like a set of control dials. You're not just giving instructions anymore. You're basically at a control panel, fine-tuning the AI's personality for whatever task you have in mind. Let's take a look at a couple of the most important dials. First up, we've got something called temperature. This dial is all about randomness. So if you need a straight-up, factual, precise answer, say for a math problem, you turn the temperature way down, close to 0. But if you want it to get creative, maybe brainstorm some ideas or write a poem, you crank that temperature dial way up. Next is max tokens. This one's pretty simple but super powerful. It just controls how long the response can be. This is really important for managing costs, but also for keeping the AI on track. You'd set a low limit for something short like a headline and a much higher limit if you want it to write a whole report. It just stops writing when it hits the limit you set. And this table here is a fantastic little cheat sheet for these controls. Like we just said, you use low temperature for facts, high temperature for creativity. You'd set low max tokens for headlines, high for reports. The table also mentions top K, which is just another way to control that randomness, kind of like temperature. The main thing to remember is that you have this whole control panel you can use to get exactly the kind of output you need. Okay, we've got the basics down, and we know how to use the controls. So let's level up. Now we're going to look at some more advanced techniques to get our AI intern to do some pretty complex thinking. So one of the most powerful techniques is called few-shot prompting. Basically, instead of just telling the AI what you want, you show it. You give it a few examples of the input and the kind of output you're looking for, and you're essentially training it right there on the spot to follow your exact format. It's like handing your intern a finished report and saying, make it look like this. Getting the format right is one thing, but what about tasks that aren't just about structure, but about, actual multi-step logic and reasoning? This is where a normal prompt can sometimes fall flat. Okay, check this out. On the left, we give a standard prompt with a pretty simple math word problem, and the AI totally botches it. It just jumps straight to the wrong conclusion. But on the right, all we did was add one simple phrase: think step by step.
And boom, it breaks the problem down, shows its work, and gets the right answer. This amazing little trick is called chain of thought prompting. So here's your golden rule for this one. If you're giving the AI a task that you yourself would have to kind of pause and think through, like complex math or planning something out or deep analysis, that's your cue to tell the AI to use its chain of thought. You're literally coaching it on how to reason. So we have covered a ton of ground, from the very basic structure all the way to advanced reasoning. Let's pull it all together into a simple toolkit you can start using like right now to get better results from any AI.
These are really the keys to the kingdom. Be direct and detailed. Always give context and tell it what format you want. A great tip is to separate your instructions from your data, maybe with some quotation marks. If you have a document you want it to use, tell it. And above all, always remember our intern. The more specific your instructions, the better your results will be. It's that simple.
So there you have it. You've got the fundamental building blocks for talking with AI effectively. You get its language, you get its controls, and you even know how to get it to think more deeply. So really, the only question left is, what are you going to build with it?